And take a look at that view back there. That is an incredible start to the work week. We love to see it, despite all that sunshine that we're looking at there. You might not believe it, but we are actually entering into our second wet season. Chief Meteorologist Nick Bannin is diving deeper into that. And Nick, all that rain we saw yesterday, pretty nice.
Yeah, and some areas picked up more than 3 inches of rain over the weekend. Of course, Austin did not, just 0.08 of an inch of rain, but hey, rain is rain, and we appreciate it when we can get it here. But yes, we are heading into now our second wettest season of the year. Our wettest season is spring, and you can see how the spring rains are separated from March and April, where the rain chances and rain coverage actually drops a bit and rainfall amounts get down, and then they really spring up as we head into May, and then we dry out as we head through the summer. But now as we're heading through fall, we get much wetter again. September averages almost 3.5 inches of rain. October averages almost 4 inches of rain. And then we start to dry out a bit into November with a little under 3 inches of rain. But when you add up what rain we get in spring versus the rain that we get in the whole season of fall, and remember these are meteorological seasons, so September, October, November is meteorological fall, we only get 0.06 of an inch of rain on average more in the spring than the fall. Everyone thinks about how wet spring can be and how stormy it can be, but we don't think about fall as much as being up there. But as we look at our top 5 wettest months of the year on average in Austin, you can see the spread. May, June there, spring months, October, September, November, fall months. So it's the spring and fall that take the top 5 spots here for the wettest months of the year on average. But May just stands out alone as being so much wetter than any other month by more than an inch on average. Notice what you're not seeing on there is July. July is usually one of our drier months, but this year was an exception. So these are averages, 30-year averages from the years 1991 to 2020 in Austin. Of course, there's always exceptions to the rule, and just because fall is usually a wetter season doesn't mean it's going to be all that wet here this season. But of course, we're into it now. We're more than a week into meteorological fall now, and the month of September as well. Let me take you outside to our Austonian weather camera, where on this first Monday of the new week, we don't have any rain out there anymore. The clouds have been clearing from the hill country, and we've got blue skies for the majority of the metro and our eastern counties. And it's only gets warmer and drier as we go through the work week, because we've got high pressure to the southwest of us that's actually going to be building in overhead as we get toward Wednesday. That will help to bring temperatures up, and eventually humidity will come up. And it's also going to prevent rain from developing. When you've got high pressure overhead, you've got sinking air. It prevents a lot of clouds from lifting up, and of course you need cloud growth to eventually get you some rain. And we're not expecting that here through the middle of the week. Even Thursday, high pressure even stronger, more sinking air, more preventing rain and much in the way of clouds from developing. Then as we head into the weekend, this high starts to shift a little bit, but it's still on top of us enough to keep us dry, we think, through the coming weekend. So we've got no rain over the next 7 days in our forecast. You can see what's been happening with the clouds, especially west of 35. They're still in the process of falling apart, but we only have a few of them left in the hill country as we're turning partly cloudy there, and the rest of us are mostly sunny already. Going into your night tonight, clear skies. Tomorrow morning, clear skies, a beautiful, cool start to your Tuesday. And then we're sunny all day here tomorrow. In fact, the time's going to move, but you're not going to see a whole lot of changes, because the weather tomorrow is going to be quiet, and Wednesday's weather quiet as well, with sunshine all day long. In fact, we may not see a whole lot in the way of clouds in the sky for the rest of the work week, perhaps just a couple here as we enter into Thursday, which should still be a dry day. We are at 90 now in Austin, hotter than we were all weekend. Of course, the clouds, rain, and storms kept the temperatures down this weekend, and now that those clouds are gone, we're allowed to warm back up again. And this reasonably dry air should allow us to cool off in a big way tonight. Look at our expected low temperatures tomorrow morning. Some 50s in spots. That 64 in Austin would be our coolest morning since the middle of May. So even cooler than it was last week when we got down to 67. So low 60s in most spots, 50s in some. 64 is what we're going in Austin, with a mostly clear sky here tonight. A couple patches of clouds early tomorrow, and then they're out of here. And then low 90s for highs tomorrow afternoon. There may even be a few spots that don't get out of the 80s, but these numbers should be a bit warmer than they were here today. And a fully sunny day with a high of 93 and a little bit of a southeast breeze. Temperatures do slowly inch up as we head through the week as that high pressure moves overhead. That's going to mean that our nighttime lows inch up slowly as well. But it's not until Friday morning that we've got overnight lows in the 70s. So still a few more 60s ahead here for the next few mornings. We'll also notice the humidity starting to grow as well, so that by Thursday into the weekend, we're back in that humid category again. Here's a look at our first warning weather 7-day forecast, which is reasonably uneventful for one of our wetter months of the year. Sunshine here through Friday, then we're mostly sunny this weekend, and just a few scattered clouds on Monday with temperatures generally in the mid-90s, but even a few upper 90s on there.